The Fix is in. The Sports Fix.
Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by Fantasy Jocks. Visit fantasyjocks.com, your fantasy sports superstore. Championship belts, rings, trophies, and more.
Sports Fix listeners, don't wait all day or all week to get in on the fun. The party doesn't stop when we go off the air all week long. The Sports Fix social media sites are your one-stop shop for all things Cleveland sports. Jump over to Facebook.com/TheSportsFix, Facebook.com/TheSportsFix, and become a fan today because we love fans and they create some of the best sports talk in town, Daddy. You'll enjoy talking to your fellow Cleveland sports fans on the Sports Fix fan page. And if Twitter's your thing, well, you know how we do it. Tweet with us at TheSportsFixCLE. It's that simple. Twitter.com/TheSportsFixCLE, baby. Chat live with the crew during all your favorite Cleveland sports events, tickets and contests and trivia and so much more. Get with us today, The Sports Fix on social media, Facebook.com/TheSportsFix. Tweet with us at TheSportsFixCLE. Join the Sports Fix on Facebook and Twitter today.
This is Greg Pruitt, formerly of the Cleveland Browns, and you're listening to The Sports Fix.
Live in Ohio, it's time to get your fix. The Sports Fix.
Welcome in, everybody. We are live. We're alive, at least, and we are live on the air here. Huge end of the week edition of the Sports Fix. There was no way. No, maybe if this was, in a slow season or something, maybe I would have pulled my punk card and taken the day off today. But no way. We've got a huge show coming your way. Thanks to everybody. Excuse me for yesterday not being here, but man. We couldn't have got anything accomplished anyway. I couldn't go literally a minute without coughing. I was very, very congested, very ill. Not just me. It was circulating through the household. And my youngest was very sick as well yesterday. So there was no way. And so I apologize for that, you guys. Thanks for sticking with it, coming back here today. That's why we're here. I said there's no way. I'm not ending the week on Wednesday, baby. So we're here, and luckily, I've got a whole bunch of friends here to help us get through it. It's going to be a great Friday edition of the Sports Fix coming your way. We've got the sports writer extraordinaire, Jonathan Knight, coming up just about 10 minutes from now to kick things off. Looking forward to talking to JK about a lot of different things. And, of course, John, I got a funny feeling. The name John, not John Knight, but to John Football, may came up once or twice here in the conversation. Browns and Bengals. JK put together the Browns Bible. I'm looking forward to talking to him today about some of, excuse me there. See, I'm going to dig through it for you guys here today, man. But, man, I still got the game coming up tonight, too. I'm calling some hoops action tonight. I'll tell you guys some more about that. I'm wrestling over the weekend. It doesn't stop, man. It doesn't stop. All I did was slept for about 12 hours yesterday, woke up and said, oh, I'm still sick, but I got a whole lot of sleep. Anyways, Jonathan Knight, we're going to talk about some famous Browns and Bengals games from over the year. Maybe some guys who have emerged. I keep going back to, Eric Metcalf. It may not have been his debut, but he came of age to the world of the NFL and football fans on Monday Night Football against the Cincinnati Bengals as he hopped, skipped, and jumped his way not only into the end zone, but into the memories and hearts of a lot of Browns fans. Does number 2 do that this weekend or what? Where does that go? Quite a few people have opinions on that today. Jonathan Knight is going to kick things off talking about that. The BSK, Kendall Lewis, he's normally here on Thursdays, but since we weren't here, he wasn't here, but he wanted to get in today because he's got some things to talk about as well. I'll tell you, you're going to hear both sides of the coin, no doubt, today about Johnny Football and his prospects this weekend because I know who's on the slate. And I know that we've got some people that are very excited to see him this weekend and think that there's some possibilities. And I'm willing to bet you're going to hear one or two people that go the opposite direction as well before today's over. So we're going to hit it from all sides. That's what we do, or at least that's what we try to do here on the show. It's not just see it my way or we hang up on you and we move on. It's, hey, man, let's talk about this. Let's have some fun, then we'll watch it and we'll talk about it some more. It's going to be fun today. We've got Kendall Lewis, the BSK, Jonathan Knight, sports writer extraordinaire, Jeff Gorman from Browns101.com. He's here, as he is every Friday. We look ahead to the Browns' opponent. It's not just about the Browns, it's who's on the other side of the field. This week, it's them Bengals coming up here, rematch from just a month. Think about that. Prime time. These two teams hooked it up the last time they did a month ago. It was a big prime. It was just as big, or well, this one may be even bigger, but it's just funny to see how it's still big, but the circumstances have swung around here in just a month here. You were in prime time, you had the playoff deal, all of that stuff, and the Browns just wiped the table with the Bengals on that one, and now you flip the script just less than a month, little over a month away from there. Browns have a different quarterback. They're hanging on, trying to keep this thing going. The Bengals are hanging on, trying to clinch this division. A lot of things playing into this one this weekend. So we're going to talk about that. Jeff Gorman has got the Bengals scouting report. Is this? It's not the same Browns team from a month ago. Is this the same Bengals team? They're coming off a pasting at the hands of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we're going to talk to JK, Kendall Lewis. Jeff Gorman's got the Bengals scouting report. BJ Riddell, Fantasy Football for Winners. Even though there was a game last night, I understand that a lot of you in your playoffs, in your championship weekends, needing to get that last-minute advice. And don't forget, the dynamic of fantasy football has somewhat changed. BJ and I were talking about that a little bit off the air, in that you've got the daily leagues. You've got all the different the single-play tournaments now with DraftKings and all of that. So it's different. It's not just make the playoffs and a couple of people are still playing and everybody else is done. As long as there's games, there will be fantasy football now that places like DraftKings exist. We're going to talk about all that. Bruce, you can put that back in your pipe and go smoke it with somebody else, man. You know what? I'm not trying to hear that today. I'm not hearing that noise, man. You know, it's something that got on me a little bit. People in general, I'll get into this later with guys, but Bruce is one. I saw him. He made some comments on Facebook there, and many of you, far from just one person, and it's been bugging me because anytime somebody makes a point that's opposite of what you believe or what you think, the line that I get all the time is, well, stop, you're just making excuses for your guy. You're just, listen, life is making. I'm just glad that the world of social media is full of guys who live their life with such accountability, because when you're going late to work and your car breaks down and that's why you got there late, I know you're the kind of guy that walks right in and says, hey, this is my fault. I should have left an hour earlier. I should have anticipated that my car was going to break down. No excuses, boss. It's my fault that I'm late. No. You walk in and you tell your boss the reason that I'm late is because my car broke down and I'm sorry. It won't happen again. It's not making excuses. That's the facts. That's the reality of it. But that drives me crazy that Twitter and social media sports fans have such high levels of accountability. They love to throw that coach speak out there. Next man up. Yeah, man, well, just because somebody got... You know how many people told me Alex Mack going down was just a big excuse for the Browns to lose a whole bunch of games? Now, all those same people go, well, the Browns were never the same since they lost Alex Mack, because you can't lose a guy as good as him and then expect to just have the next man up. But a few weeks ago, it was stop making excuses for the Browns. Next man up. I'm just saying. I love it. I'm glad that people live their lives with that same level of accountability, which they don't, because this is the real world. But social media is not the real world. Social media is the real world that you like or want your world to be or tweak your world to be. So social media is your world, but it's not the real world a lot of times. Sorry, that's just the reality of it. It's a nice little place where you can color everything the way you like it, and you can tweak anything you want about yourself, and everybody will believe it. So there you go. Anyways, it's all good. Listen, man, I'm just having some fun. At the same time, I'm making a very serious point. That drives me crazy. Absolutely drives me crazy. Same people, though. Let Johnny Football have a bad debut on Sunday. Same people will be the first ones to go, well, he's a rookie. What do you expect? Psh, don't make excuses. I didn't give a rookie a nickname. He gave himself that nickname. So I'm just saying, and I'm not getting there. Guys, I'm not going there. I want to see the legend of that kid start on Sunday. I don't know if it will. I don't know if it won't. But I'm looking forward to seeing it. So we'll talk about that here a little bit. But that gets me, guys, and that lack of or that just that accountability. I love it. I love it. Social media, superheroes, baby. But anyways, guys, speaking of, I'll give you all that because I want to hear from you guys. Let's get rolling, man. Phones are already popping here. We got a huge show. Jonathan Knight's coming up just a few minutes from now. Scary night last night for Cavaliers fans all over. Let's do it. Let's dive into this. Welcome to the Sports Fix. J-Rock with you, kicking things off here live across the Sports Fix radio network as we are live on TuneIn and TuneIn's radio app. Maybe you're listening to us on Spreaker and Mixler, or maybe you're listening to us on the sportsfix.net. Their home base. It's everything you need. It's right there for the Sports Fix. Welcome in as well, all of you listening on digital delay 24/7 on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud, and so much. And guys, as I mentioned, even though we're on the air, I am definitely still a bit under the weather. So if at any point here my throat dries up during the show, gets a little crackly, I may cough on you once or twice, and I'll tell you what, I'm sweating like you have no idea. It's just it's what happens, man, when you got to suck it up, buttercup, and do your thing. So there it is. No excuses for the show, baby. I'm going to put it down whether I'm sick or not. See, I didn't even plan on that to tie back together like that. No excuses. We're going to go to work here today on the show. But just wanted to let you guys know that you may have you may notice it from time to time here. Anyways, welcome in. I'm J-Rock, the host of the show. A whole lot going on. I'm going to get to it now. I really wanted to start off here, but I see JK already getting ready to fire it up. Let's get the show moving. Welcome in, you guys. Be a part of the show. See what I mean right there? Be a part of the show, whether it's on the phone lines. The phones are going to be very, very hard to get into today. 216-539-7535 is the number. 216-539-7535. If you can't get through or if we're not taking calls, Facebook and Twitter, facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at thesportsfixCLE. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com, always to stay in touch with the show. Facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at thesportsfixCLE. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com. Here, we'll continue to talk to you guys throughout the show. We've got Jonathan Knight, the sports writer extraordinaire, coming up in just a minute. I see guys trying to get through. Phone lines are not open yet this early in the show. We've got get moving here with the opening segment because I've got JK coming up on the back side of this. Talk a little. Matter of fact, we'll pick up on that when we come back on the other side. How about I get JK in on this conversation? Let's talk about the Cavaliers last night a bit, as it was a scary night. Cavs fans everywhere held their breath a little bit as Kyrie Irving went down. And I'll tell you, speaking of the social media superheroes, a lot of the same people that on social media are not the biggest fans of Kyrie Irving. Ooh, there was a whole lot of them going, oh no, last night. Yeah. You know, it's one thing to make your quips on social media, but then when you see him down and you go, that's no good for things. A lot of Cleveland fans had their hearts in their throats for a few minutes last night. I know I did. I said, wow, that cannot be good. And a few minutes later, talk about a superhero, man. He walked himself back. Kyrie Irving, how many times have we ever used that sentence? When Kyrie Irving got hurt, sucked it up, and came back on the court, man. He did. He did last night, man. And Cavaliers fell short. I want to talk about that. I'll get into it a little bit with Jonathan Knight. We'll get into it a whole lot more later on in the show. Delhi coming up big. Man, Delhi was locking down Kevin Durant last night. I have no idea why they didn't go to him on the last 2 minutes of the game instead of switching off, because he was really doing a great job on Kevin Durant here. I want to talk about all of that in a little bit, but I got to get to the break. I got Jonathan Knight coming to start things off, so let's do it. You guys know how it is. It's a wild Friday ride. Sports writer extraordinaire Jonathan Knight is going to kick it off with us here to begin the show. We'll talk a little bit about that scary moment last night for the Cavs. Kyrie Irving goes down. Cavs down 20. Come all the way back, unable to finish it off. We'll talk about that. Johnny number 2 becomes number 1 here this week, and all that and more. Browns and Bengals. Who better to talk about that with than JK, the sports writer extraordinaire? He's on the other side of this. Don't go anywhere. Jonathan Knight live when we come back here on the Sports Fix.
Get your fix.
Because it's Friday, You ain't got no job, and you ain't got to do.
It's the Sports Fix. We'll be right back.